Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our debut episode of For Shoots and Giggles. Now, anybody that follows my YouTube channel and stuff like that knows that I did a little bit of this a few years back, but it was more of a pre-recorded thing. So what we want to do now is I want to do these live, so that way you get the raw answers, you get raw deal on stuff like this. So I thought, what better way to start than Arkansas's resident psychopath, the deadliest player in the game, and I know that from personal experience. He's probably the reason why I'm missing some teeth. Uh, ladies and gentlemen, here is Deadly Dale. What's up, Dale?
What's up? I'm trying to stab you with scissors. What's up, David?
Oh, Lord have mercy. What's going on, man?
You see it, man. Thanks for having me on the first live edition of the special dummy units. Shoots and giggles.
I
My
love how
bad.
we talked about before we got on here. We're
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're gonna try to watch the language and stuff. I was like, man, this is Dale I'm talking
I
about.
done
Just we're
slipped
gonna
up.
go.
Done slipped.
Not a
I
big deal at all, man. Not a big.
keep my
And that's what the
Tourette's
whole
under
deal
control.
is with. And the whole deal is this is all wrestling term. This is a shoot. This is all real life. This is not in character or whatever you want to call it. We just want to talk about the actual you, to go along with the wrestling side of you. So to get started, man, how long you been doing this wrestling thing?
Well, I'd say I might be off a year or so, around 23 years. Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow, okay.
Yeah, a long
Uh
time.
who actually trained you?
Well, a few folks. I got in there with first started off in like Walnut Ridge, Arkansas Armory. There was a guy named Rick Gibson running shows, and he was, I guess you would call him the main trainer, but he didn't get in there much. He just kind of had his guys train us, and his guys he already had on the roster, and then got thrown in there a little before I should have, and worked there. Oh God, I don't know, 6 months to a year maybe, and then Reggie Montgomery started up a promotion in Dixie, Arkansas. If you've ever heard of that place, this little old building called the Dixie Dance Hall. But I trained with Reggie and his tag partner at the time, Max Mayhem, and that's when I really like hit the drills hard and like got a lot polished up through Reggie. Yeah, but that's it. I haven't done no seminars, or they didn't really have that back then, or if they did, I wasn't aware of them or anything like that. But that's about the
Well,
gist
and
of my
that was
training.
that, and that was back, like really before, the internet boom, where you could find the
Oh yeah.
information to find these guys that were doing seminars and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a little difficult to find things along those lines. But I'm actually surprised though. Your dad didn't really have a part in that.
Well, the actual training, no. I would work with them and stuff, and when I was green. But the deal with my dad, okay, he was trained by Craig Stone's dad, right? Oh my gosh, dude, I feel like an ass for Stone is what my dad always called him. God,
Dwayne.
and Dwayne. God, yes.
Yeah.
I know I'm just having a brain flatulence right now. But Dwayne
Yeah.
Stone and Ronnie McPherson, and I was like a
Okay.
baby, you know. My dad was like, I was like 19 or something when I was born, so I don't remember any of that. And he worked, I don't know how many years, but I don't really recall. And honestly, I don't know why he got out of the business, but he got out whenever I was young. And when I got out of high school and started back, his itch kind of came back. He seen me getting back. So
Right.
he came back up into the business. And so whatever he did when he was younger, tack on to like what I've done for like 23 years. So I don't know the number on that one, but yeah, I mean, Dad taught me a lot. But as far as like the in ring training, it was some guys I mentioned earlier.
Got you. Got you. Got
Yeah,
you. Well, and it's. I mean, it's kind of similar to like like say, if my kid was to get into wrestling, of course I'd want a hand in that, but I would have a hard time training them
right.
because I'm like you have those higher expectations and also that irritation factor grows a little quicker too because of those
Exactly.
higher expectations. So I
And
get the gist of that.
yeah, and my dad knew all them other guys that started training me, and then him and Reggie are like literally like brothers. So
Yeah.
he trusted me with or Reggie with me, and me with Reggie, and so yeah, that's how that went.
I saw both of them this weekend. Uh,
Oh yeah, they said they came up to watch y'all up at OCW, Out of Control Wrestling in Hoxie, Arkansas, every Saturday
yep,
night at what time? 8, 7,
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Now, I wasn't going to do that because I know y'all got a pretty good show this Saturday. The benefit for your dad, who is the enforcer, Jim Chitty.
Yes,
So I know
sir.
y'all got that going on. Y'all got some good stuff planned out for it. I saw the flyers on a lot of the guys y'all got there.
Yeah, man. I want to say I really appreciate all of the guys that are working that show, and Craig and Ricky for putting it on. My dad didn't, he didn't ask for none of that. That was all on them. This is ASWF MACW, the merger. That's a mouthful
Yeah.
to say MACW ASWF, but the joint promotion, in Tuckerman,
That's why. That's
Arkansas.
why I just. That's why I just say Tuckerman half the time, because
Yeah,
that way
a lot of
everybody
people
knows
say,
what it is.
yeah,
Real
that's the
quick,
home base.
James Grant. Uh, gonna
Oh
come
yeah,
work a show
that's
for
the
Jamie J.
Jamie J, man. He's Jamie J. I know Jamie J. We used to go work years ago, man. He just sent me a message earlier, like, and I was like, I'm getting ready to do this podcast. He's trying to get my number. I got to get back with him. He's like talking about opening up another show, so I get some details on
Oh,
that.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. I've
Jamie,
heard the name. I don't know him
mm,
personally, but I've heard the name.
yeah, before your time. He did some
And that
good stuff, man. He's a good guy, man. He was a good looking guy. Like he was built, he could work. He had some WWE tryouts a couple times, and he just had some unfortunate accidents. Like he would like broke his leg like right before a tryout. This is back in the early 2000s or something like that,
oh
mid
wow.
early 2000s. But I hadn't talked to him in a minute. But he's a good guy, man. James
Okay.
Grant. You're fat now, man. Well, it
Hey, I
happens,
got
brother.
I got
Yes,
special special hello there to Mark McGee. Those that
Mark.
follow this podcast or this whole network and all knows he is one of the most dedicated followers we have. And we'll put like if you're friends with him on Facebook, your stuff's gonna get promoted because that dude will put everything out there. A good dude right there.
Nice.
But all
Appreciate
right,
it. And
so
even my network, it's yours. So I
oh
still
yeah,
appreciate that.
definitely. All right, so talking about the old times and stuff like that. Uh, can you? I know a lot. You've been doing this a long time, but
Yeah.
do you? A lot of guys can. Do you remember your first match?
Yeah. Well, I count kind of two different ones. Okay. Um, like I said, started in Walnut Ridge. Our home base was the Armory, right?
Okay.
Um, I was playing softball back then. I was like, I started training when I was 18, and then I had a bird. Basically, you can say got in business when I was like 19 before I got in the ring, but I was training at 18. But anyway, I was doing a softball tournament. We were like in the finals, and the guy I was talking about, Grizzly Gibson, he needed some guys, so they called me up or get a hold of me somehow. I didn't have a cell phone. I don't even know how they got a hold of me, but he's having a softball tournament in Walnut Ridge, and the show was in Walnut Ridge. Yeah, and at that point, I was just coming to the shows, putting up chairs. And this is, mind you, me and Idle Bane, aka Nine Finger Philly, we came in together. He actually he started a little bit before me. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that guy. Am I doing it? Yeah, yeah.
It's the pinky. It's the
It's the
pinky.
pinky. If it's the right pinky, but he's left-handed, so he got lucky. But yeah, that's that guy for stabbing me in the back. But anyway, yeah, he started before me, and then we went to high school together. I'm rambling off, but I'll get to the point.
No, you're
I was a
fine,
year,
man.
I was a year up, a year older than him in school, and we kind of chit chatted through. Um, we didn't really hang out or nothing, but we both liked wrestling, and he turned me onto the dirt sheets. Like, we had email like at school. I was like the only computer I had, and he was like kind of a computer nerd on all that stuff. And I was like, wow, that's when you get an email and you're getting all the dirt sheet stuff. But anyway, yeah. So we did all the pay your dues stuff, setting the rings up,
Yeah.
sweeping, put the chairs up, staying afterwards, cleaning, blah, blah. Well, anyway, I got contacted somehow, and we're in the finals of the game, and I was a pretty good ball player, even as a kid there. But they're like, we need you, and we need you up here. I'm like, oh my God, really? Like in a match? I'm like, I'm there. And then my teammates are like, man, we need you, though. You can't just leave us like that. I'm like, I have to. Sorry. It was a battle royal. And I don't know why they needed me so bad for a battle royal, but whatever. And I remember, I don't know who eliminated me, but I remember getting thrown over the top and smacking my dome on that wooden floor like hard, man. I think probably my first
I've done
wrestling
that before.
concussion, not counting football, but it was one of them where you see stars and the vision goes, and I'm like, oh, that looked good. That, I guess you can count that as my first match, but my first actual like singles match, and I cannot remember the name of this town to save my life. But this, I'm pretty sure, was when Aaron Poston had taken over and the ASWF was actually born for the first time. It's been around a while. Like, oh,
Yeah.
but the match was, God, I think it was Rector, Arkansas. Old ass building falling apart, but I wrestled Hot Rod, John Elson, and Reggie came out with me because I was a nervous wreck and stuff. He came out as my manager to help me out and
Yeah.
whatnot. So my first actual like singles match was against Hot Rod, which was he tagged with Sexy Rex, rest in peace, and we worked them all the time. But yeah, which them were two guys that helped train me and Phil too at the
Yeah.
beginning stages. But yeah, that's my first two matches. After that, I couldn't tell you like my second match or whatever. I couldn't,
Well,
man.
and what kind of like emotionally wise, what was your what was your feelings going into your first actual match? Like how did you feel about everything at that point?
The battle royal, dude, I don't even think surely I was nervous, but I think I was like more stoked than anything, man, because I'd been like playing softball like all day in the summer. I was probably nasty. I don't even know what I wore. So I don't even know if I had gear. I surely changed out of my softball stuff, but it's hard to remember. I think I was nervous, but at the same time confident, which is a total paradox, I know, but maybe
You're
too
you're,
too
you're a walking
cocky a little
paradox.
bit. Yeah, I say that a lot. I am a walking paradox. But yeah, I was had the nerves, but I was like I had to be checked a few times. I wasn't like a smart ass or nothing, but I I don't know. Most people that been around for a minute would call me cocky on in the when I got out there, but really I wasn't. I was just trying to. I don't know, man. I was just trying to get into it. I guess, man. I had a
Well,
weird.
it's that young guy. It's that young guy arrogance that we all
Yeah,
go
yeah.
through.
I needed to slow down a whole lot, and then not do certain crap. I'd be running around like a maniac, man. I was so weird because my influences were everywhere. Like my my favorite wrestler of all time, you probably know this. I've said it before, is Scott Hall. So I wanted to be Scott Hall, but at the same time, I was like a grunge kid in real life. I'll come out of that era. So, I kind of looked like, and I got in the ICP, and then so I was like a psycho. We were actually called the psychopaths. I mean, Phil at tagging.
Oh, okay.
We wore like, I was in great shape, and I wrestled in a t-shirt. I don't know why. I guess my confidence on that part wasn't like it is now. Now I can't wrestle in a damn shirt, man. I don't care what my body's looking like. But um, so had to have the
Got the dad
cockiness.
bod.
Yeah, dad bod, baby. I'd have the cockiness of like Scott Hall, but like I would be like crazy in a psycho way and kind of a raven look all in one. And actually, here's some. I'm dude. I'm kind of a little tweaking on the Monster strawberry dream. Recommend it highly. It's delicious and full of energy. But my first gimmick, my first name before me and Philip started tagging was Black Sunshine. Hi, that's my girlfriend. Thank you. I'm so hot. But anyway, Black Sunshine, because it was a name of a White Zombie song, Black Sunshine, and I was like, oh man, this is a cool song. I'll use this song, and couldn't figure out a name. I was like, I'll be Black Sunshine. I would get black makeup and like smear it on my eyes, and I'm aging myself big time here, dude. We brought our music on cassette tape, bro. Yes, yes. And
Oh
then,
my lord.
dude, I brought it. And when me and Philip started tagging, as a psychopath would come out the ICP's chicken hunting, and the way I edited that, I had it. I don't know, like a dual tape deck, and I had it was actually a CD player with a tape deck on it. and I would play it, and when it cussed, I'd hit the pause button real quick and then unpause it. So I made it my own edited version of that song so we could use it. But
Wow.
yeah, bro, technology has.
Wow.
I mean, I'm like aging
It's
myself,
grown
but it
immensely
moves so
since that time.
fast too, man. We hit that singularity, man, with the internet. Like I was like in the cusp of all that, man. I kind of got. If I would have been like a
Me
little
too.
bit
Me too.
older or younger, if I was older, I could have thrived in the the badass. If I'd have been bigger, badass '80s hardcore kayfabed out wrestling, or if I'd been like a '90s or 2000s kid, I would have had internet to make more connections with. So I didn't hit my prime of making show. I traveled, and I was a 40 miler, but maybe a little bit more than that because I'd do Tennessee, Mississippi. It was just people you knew, but the connections you can make now with social media is just crazy. I'd always
Yeah.
say the
Yeah.
internet was like the best thing and the worst thing to happen to pro wrestling at the same time. Another
Yeah.
paradox for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Very much so. Us, we're right at the same age, so trust me,
Yeah,
I understand all that. I mean, I did get into wrestling a lot later than you 'cause I
yeah.
started later in life. But trust me, like when it comes to that, I completely understand the changes over the years. It's like, man, think about what could have been
Mhm.
then, but what can be now. You
Yeah,
know.
man. Yeah, you're David Dallas Page, baby. You're like DDP. You're the
I,
Arkansas DDP. I am the
I've been told
man.
that
Thank you. Go
I've
ahead.
been
Sorry.
told that a multitude of times. So, but
I figured you
so
have.
all right. So you talked about like big name wise, Scott Hall being one of your biggest influences and all. Who in the local scene that you have been around coming up? Who has been your biggest influence in wrestling?
When I was young, uh, Dirty Little Dave and the Dirty Little Gang, because I would go and watch, and I seen them, and they were like, and I was a huge NWO mark, still am. I'm a fan still. And to me, I was kind of like, they were so good and stuff, and it's like, these guys are kind of like the NWO. They had their own shirts, Not very many people even had their own shirts,
Yeah.
DLG, and it said Dirty Little Gang. He still has them classic shirts.
Oh
But
yeah.
I hadn't been around long. Philip knows this story. Excuse me. But they got Dave pulled me to the side. He's like, "Man, dump your partner and join us." And I was like, I was in shock because I felt like really bad. I didn't want to dump Philip, but at the same time, this is like the freaking NWO asking me to come join them, in my opinion, in the local scene. So
Right.
I was like, "Sorry, bro, I gotta join. I'm
Well,
joining the,
and
the 30 little gang, bro."
and it's kind of like this, not to try to draw an exact comparison, but like when me and you were tagging and we were doing
Hmm.
the original incarnation of the Manai, dude, it was a weekly basis. Somebody was going to the book or whatnot. Hey man, uh, anyway, I might can join with them and stuff like that. 'Cause, it's the thing when you come up with something that connects with people that
Yeah.
gets the crowd, people want to be a part of that.
Oh
And Dirty
yeah.
Little Gang has been that aspect. Even now, when Dave
Mhm.
shows up, people pay attention. So it's awesome that you were actually able to be a part of that as well,
Oh
weren't
yeah,
you?
definitely, man. When I was in it, let's see who I was in it. There's a guy named Big Pun. You might not know him. He was badass. He's a big old dude. Let's see, Sexy Rex was in it, and I think maybe the Treat, San Francisco Treat. You remember him?
Oh, I met Rick once or twice.
Rick Burton,
I
yeah,
didn't.
he dropped
He
the
wasn't.
gimmick.
He
Yeah,
wasn't. He wasn't doing treat whenever I met him though.
yeah. See that he was basically the Adrian Adonis basically gimmick. Whenever
Yeah.
I met him, he did
Yeah.
that for years. You
Oh
know, he was
yeah.
good at it too. He's good at it.
I've watched some videos where you and Treat were doing some different things and stuff, and that
I
was
know
some
what you're talking
interesting
about.
stuff.
That was DC Down South Championship Wrestling. Came on like public access, kind of like KAIT around here, like midnight. Um, and yeah, he'd known me for Loose Cannon was there. Me and Austin Lane and Matthew Williams rode the roads up there a lot, and even Kid Crazy every now and then. But mostly me and Austin. But it was like, yeah, we had this gimmick. I lost, so I had to be his boy toy on TV. He made me wear boas and
Yeah.
stuff, and he slapped the dog shit out of me. Like, he hit me so hard one time to come to the ring, he like tore his own mask off that he put on me. I was like, ha ha, that's what you get for throwing taters like that, buddy. Oh, hey, and Jamie J that come up. I remember it was he was wrestling Jamie J on maybe on one of the matches you watched. Yep, there he is, James Grant. I was there. And see, and I didn't want, I was doing it against my will. So he'd throw
Right.
Jamie out to me. And I just throw my hands up like, yeah, I ain't hitting him. Why should I hit him? And then he'd get out and get mad. And it was a pretty good gimmick. He got booking changed or something. So that whole thing kind of squandered off. But
Well, saying
that was
that's
a
a
good experience. That whole promotion was, man. It was probably my first TV time,
that's
actually.
crazy though. Like a lot of people may know, like you honestly have been one of my bigger influences. With tagging with you and working with you and stuff like that. Anybody that sees my gimmick can see parts of what you have done in my stuff. I mean, that just putting you over like some bitch right there. But the correlation too is
Yeah,
hilarious
I'll
because you
take it.
remember. I don't know if you remember or not when I first started. We were at MACW. That's where I got my first start at,
Yeah,
and they had me
Jonesboro.
working pretty much. Yeah, and had me doing a similar gimmick where I was basically my contract was owned by Boss,
Ah,
and I kept having to do everything he made me do and stuff like that.
okay.
We never got the blow off match because that's when he moved off to like Florida or Georgia or whatnot. But
There you go.
yeah, there's a lot of correlation there, man. I like hearing that.
That's crazy. See, y'all must have been doing that before I came up there because I didn't meet you until oh my God, Jamie will never live that down. Next time I'm going to give you a harder one, bro. Tater, I gave you one. That's because I missed him.
You
So the
were
second one caught him right in the freaking nose. He goes, "Oh, you busted my nose."
the
Love you, Jamie.
MACW time. You were there. You were there. You were the champion at that time.
Really?
You and Idol were working back and forth. I mean, 'cause remember we did the car lot show too,
Yeah.
where I did be the evil car salesman, Brock Stevens.
Oh, yeah. That's when I lost the title at Idle Bay.
Yeah, that was the one that had James Storm and Koya there.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And yeah, Dustin Starr and Maria wrestled.
Yeah,
But
but
when
that
I
was all at
swear though,
that same time.
yeah. See, my times are off. But I remember because yeah, I've wrestled 20, 30 years, but there's been gaps where I've
Yeah.
been gone for,
Well, saying
not
I think
years at a time, besides this last time was the longest, but maybe 3, 6 months, whatever. But I come
well
up to
a lot of
ASWF.
the time with my stuff with Boss though was when MVC was the big faction there at the time. I think you were
Okay.
kind of sporadic at that point because
Okay.
Idol had taken the belt and all that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then I remember we did the show for Sleazy to where I got to tag with you and the Viking War Party.
Oh yeah, it was
And
awesome at the gym, at his buddy's gym. Yeah.
oh
Arkansas
man,
Muscle.
I watched that match back the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad I've improved."
I, I'd like to watch that again. Actually, a clip came up on my memories the other day of me giving. I've always been an innovator in moves. That's why I never could really keep a finisher for very long. But I gave Mike Anthony this pop up
Pop
stunner.
up stunner. Yep,
Like
I remember
Kevin
that like
Owens was
yesterday.
really coming up with that pop up power bomb, and I loved it. And I'm like, man, I don't want to just rip that off because here's another tidbit of information. The power bomb is my favorite move, hands down, of all time. Maybe that's why I loved Kevin Nash too so much back in, before I even knew who the Click was. All them dudes are my favorite. And then, I see Scott Hall coming out. I'm like, what? What is going on? And then the next week, I'm like, what? Kevin Nash? They are taking my favorites, but
Oh,
got
I
on a
remember
subject
those
there.
days. The NWO. My favorite little deal about the NWO when they brought in the Giant.
Mm-hmm.
They came to Shreveport down close where I live. So we went to the show, and
Oh,
came through the
lucky.
crowd. They came through the crowd, and Big Show put his hand on top of my head as he walked by, and I'm just like, "Oh, oh."
I would have been like, ooh, ooh. I bet his head was, you probably
Dude,
could have popped your head.
I mean, it was like this. I'm just like, good God, this guy is massive. Oh
Mm.
yeah.
I never got to go to a WCW live event or show. Been to some WWE, TNA. I've seen. Yeah, I think that's all actually. Big big time shows that I've watched, not been a part of. But,
Back in that time though, WCW when I was still in Louisiana, WCW was really the only one that ever came through Shreveport area.
they were still
So
in
yeah.
the southern territories, even though it really
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
territories, but that was still like their
I still remember
stomping
there was
ground.
one night, like the main event was Booker T and somebody in the NWO, and the crowd started throwing a bunch of trash in the ring, and Booker T stops, gets on the mic, and like, if y'all don't quit that, we're leaving right now. We ain't ever coming back. Like they stopped the show. Like the match didn't
Whoa.
even finish. They stopped the show and shut down and kicked everybody out because
Oh, it
they
must have
wouldn't
been a
try to
house
stop
show,
him.
huh?
Yeah, yeah, it was a house show. So,
Uh,
all right.
oh,
Oh, go ahead.
hang on a second. My bad. We got on a ramble. I was trying to think. I said that I thought the first time I met you was coming up here to back to ASWF, and it was just you were green, and they put me with you for a tag for the night. I don't even remember who we wrestled, and then I hit it off with you, and then we came up, got to talk. I was like, well, I need to. I kind of want to tag, get my toe dipped back in, because I'd been out for a minute. And then we got to talking, man. We come up with this whole freaking all this. You already had ideas cooking, and then we played off each other, man. And then shoot, it kind of still going to an extent, or like offshoots from what I've been keeping up with, and you've had your different incarnations. So I'm proud of that too, being a part of that, man. Tell you the
Yeah,
truth,
yeah,
honestly.
definitely the original incarnation. Me, you, and Tab
Yep.
was. I mean, that right there. If it wouldn't have been for that, I probably wouldn't be like as a wrestler wise who I am. In all honesty, that's what really because you know I'm not gonna put the names out there and all like that, but the guy that was running the show at the time pretty much let me develop my character how I wanted. And then,
Hmm.
like I said, getting the tag with you, we really learned. I really learned, and that first match was against Josh and Kid Crazy. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
dude, I got a mind like a steel trap on stuff like that.
I'm
But
glad you
yeah,
did. You remind me.
that that right there is the reason. I mean, honestly, that's why I've been able to create this character, but then also evolve like not just my character, but the character of the Manai in general, the different evolutions of it is because of what we originally did. And like, if you go back and watch some of our highlight reels that we had put together and stuff like that, dude, we were balls out psychopaths.
Oh
It
yeah.
was it was so much fun, man. You know, getting running in circles around Tab, you're throwing chairs in the ring and shit. I was like,
Oh yeah, man. When I get in
man,
that
that was fun.
transformation, especially when we're in a full blown crazy stable, man, I sometimes I'll be like watch stuff back. I'm like, ooh, I might have should have dialed that back a little bit, man. I don't know. I'm off the rails. I'm a legit lunatic, man.
Yeah, dude, it was so much fun though. Like I said, we developed something really good that, like I was saying, that a lot of people wanted to be a part of because, and dude, like that was the thing is like when we did the whole split on it, and everything like that, because you were going to take some time off and everything. That is like in the mask character, the only time I've ever been able to be heel and it get over because it was on you, you know.
It was so
Any other time with the
shocking.
mask, it didn't work.
Yeah, yeah, man. It was such a shocking moment, to everybody. Because first they were upset, because I was like, I've done everything I can do for you guys. It's time for me to move on, and y'all, took it the wrong way and beat the hell out of me. So I went psycho, batshit over that. So I'm like, all right, I'll take on all three of y'all at the same
Hey,
time. And then, yeah, y'all
yeah.
wore me out, man. The paramedic, I was so whelped up with kendo stick shots. Dude was like, I'm cool. He thought I was blood. Like I had blood, not maybe coming out, but I mean, it was purple. It was gross looking. I'm like,
Well,
yeah,
here's my thing is we're gonna look behind the wall for a second here. Is I was told if I didn't bring it, it was gonna be brought to me, so I wasn't taking no chances at
yep.
all because I was like that shit hurts. But
That's how I am, especially when I'm trying to really get something over. And I said this quote to somebody not long ago, man, and I kind of live by this. I can't even believe you got me on here shooting, killing the damn business, brother. But
it'd be all right. I do it
it's my
every week.
brother, the late great Terry Funk, man. He said, "It ain't my job to believe wrestling is real. It's my job to make the people believe I'm real." I'm like, hell yeah, that's exactly how I feel, man. I couldn't say it no
Uh,
better than the
Trust
Funkster,
me,
man.
when we were doing our at OCW, I was doing our cult variation of the Manai. Like,
Mm.
yeah, coming out and all like that. I legitimately had people messaging me, asking me if I was trying to start my own religion. So trust me, I get it. I get it. I just when David takes over, the host takes over. There's a lot of medication involved. So
Oh yeah, dude. I love
so
it, man. That's
you
when you know, man. That's when you've got them, bro. That's the best feeling. That's the best.
yeah. Oh, the first week that we did that, I had a buddy of mine standing in the crowd with flyers. Join the Temple of Chaos. Join the Manai. Handing flyers out to people as they came in the building.
Oh, dude, my nephew actually came home with one of them, and I might have it here at my house somewhere. Actually, I was like, this is great. It was all crumpled, and half missing and stuff. He was like, they were handing these out up there.
Oh, I had so many people like right in my face, tearing it up and stuff. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome! This is awesome!"
So, like, I mean, people, there's different crowds, different places, but I always would tell like heels that were super over or hated, put gimmick pictures out anyway because well, there's always some people that like heels, but
Yeah.
also they would pay $1 or $2 for your picture back in the day to get in your face and tear it up, and then you could be like, what are you doing tearing up my picture? Don't be tearing up my pictures. and then everybody's going and buying them just to piss you off, you
Yeah,
know.
they
So
done bought it, so you got the money.
yeah, man. So because you're always kind of at a little disadvantage. Like a baby face sit out there and sell their stuff, make some money. If you're hated, legitimately hated by not so smart fans. They ain't like, I ain't gonna buy his T-shirt, but they might buy your picture just to rip it up your face. So
I love the people that'll own like some.
oh no, hope that ain't me. You froze. Oh no. It says we're live, Dave. I think you froze. My clock's still ticking. Oh, it's going so well too. I can't read anybody's comments. Or I would try to fill time up. Let me think of a story to tell why David has technical difficulties. Let's see. I'll tell you what. I'll plug. This is even working. We was talking about my dad, a benefit show. That's this Saturday at Tuckerman, Arkansas, at the Valiant Arena. I know somebody. It's called the Main Event Bradley Complex now, but the Valiant Arena in Tuckerman, Arkansas. I don't like putting this out there, but people know you back. All right, cool. I was just trying to put in a quick plug while you had technical difficulties.
My internet went just ape shit all of a sudden.
Yeah, I noticed you froze up, and I was like, "No, someone's doing so good." No, I was trying to. I was plugging my dad's show, man. Saturday, 7:30. I'm the kind of person that I don't like to talk, like put it out there, because I'm a weirdo, like energy person. Like, 'cause, I mean, it's already out there. Most people know my dad has cancer. All right, the enforcer, Jim Chitty. Cause I don't like putting stuff out there like that, because then everybody's like, "Oh no," and then he's gonna die. He's so sick, and then I'm like, "Oh no, quit thinking that. That energy's gonna manifest stuff." Think positive, like his treatments are working. Which, good news, he's at his third or fourth session of chemo right now. He gets to go like 3 days in a row, like in Little Rock, but it's doing a good job on the results that he got when he went. But yeah, I wanted to plug that and thank Craig, for putting the show on, and Rockin' Ricky, which is fighting the cancer battle too, and
Yeah.
everybody that's on the show, all the workers, the concession stand workers, the ticket taker, the music person, everybody involved that's putting their time in. I truly appreciate it. I know my dad does too. He gets on Facebook, but he's not, he's not a big poster. He might like or comment here and there, but
Yeah.
it means a lot to him. It means a lot to me too. And I hope to see a lot of people out there.
We were talking about influences earlier. He's been an influence to a lot of guys. I mean, even to this day, he walks in the locker room and there's a massive amount of respect for the man. So I mean, of course they're going to worry about it. I personally yeah, it stresses me out because I love that man to death. I love the hell out of Jim, and he kind of likes me. So
Oh yeah, man, he would. Oh God, I love my dad too, but I would be back when he was in his heyday, being on shows. Sometimes I'd just be like, "Oh God," because he would like be working a greenhorn or something. He would like he'd fade the shit out of them and like have them poop in their trunks and stuff, right up to the point so they went out. the curtain, or maybe not even up to that point, maybe to when they were in the ring. Yeah, and like
Yeah.
you said, him being an influence, I've had a lot of people tell me that and how he toughened them up because he admits he was a tight worker. That's how he was trained by Stone and McPherson, and yeah, he lay a good wrestling term here, lay that shit in there. He definitely would do that.
I got one chance I got to work with him. It was it was supposed to be you and Wolf against me and I think me and Joey at the time. Uh, but you wasn't able to be there, so he stepped in. It was a tornado tag, no DQ, and I'm just like,
Oh,
oh shit, oh man, I gotta work Jim. He's
it's gonna
gonna
hurt.
hurt me, dude. So much fun. I had so much fun. I'm glad I got to work with him before he had to step away.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. I love because getting to work with him, and I got to work with Reggie Montgomery quite a bit when I first started. Dirty Little Dave. I think that's
Yep.
why too. Now I'm able to like working with those guys and then turn around and working with guys like Josh, Kid Crazy, Ray, guys like that. I feel like that's what I was able to learn how to work with multiple styles. So I
Oh,
honestly, I
yeah.
love the hell out of that, my experience, coming up with
That's
it.
great, man. I think of like pro wrestling, man. There's like it's like MMA. I mean, you have your core style of pro wrestling, the basics, but then there's thousands of different
There is
styles.
the way I always look at it is if there is a style of wrestling you like to do, there's an audience for it somewhere. So look
Yeah,
right here.
definitely. Yep. We got Will up in here. Jim gave me my first ever non-coach props backstage. We also busted each other up in a battle royal, and we share love to this day. Yeah, he tells that story of a knee. I think he might have gave him to his nose and busted his nose, and he said you were worried about it, but it was all good. He wasn't mad or nothing. He's like, it's all good, bro. Lay it in there, keep coming.
So your dad was known as a hardcore guy, as well as yourself. You have the reputation as pretty much the hardcore king of Arkansas, if not the South. How did you actually get into doing like the hardcore deathmatch type stuff?
Man, it's so weird because, like I said, my dudes were like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and the Click, like dudes like that would never touch a hardcore match. And then my dad done a lot of them. I didn't even never even heard of death match. That wouldn't. It was just like hardcore brawls. Chairs and plunder. Whatever, fighting
Yeah.
around the arena. More tame than glass and razors and whatnot. But and like ECW, we didn't get. I never got to see it really. It was like on people that had satellite and pay per view. I barely had cable half the time, so I didn't ever even get to watch that. I didn't even have tapes or nothing until way later. Man, they was already out of business probably. But honestly, man, I don't know. Just probably having to work my dad in hardcore matches, and then I was like, hey, this is kind of fun, man. We just run around and you got to worry about too much. I mean, just fight and smash each other with this and that, and that was more the brawl. But there's a science and psychology to hardcore and death match, just like any other match. But I kind of gravitated. I don't know. I kind of maybe I built the rep doing that, and then I just started liking it a lot. And my first real death match was I was in my 30s, like I told you, like I did after I made connections and stuff, like when there was tubes and glass and all that involved. I might have had barbed wire before that. It's been a minute, but me and Cody and Philip we'd always do a lot of 6-man LSD. I think I
I
coined the term just on the fly. I said we're going to have it. It's supposed to be a hardcore match. I called it an LSD death match. But we were doing that before in our other gimmick. The psychopaths. I told you, like me and Philip had started, and then when Cody got older, he used to watch us in the crowd. He's younger than us, not super younger, but he's still 6 years younger than me anyway. But when we become friends with him because he was like a fan of us, and then we made a 3-man group with the psychopaths and ran with that for a while. We just straight up ripped off ICP and Juggalo culture. We loved it anyway, and it wasn't really in our area. There wasn't very many people that they probably heard of ICP, but they didn't know, like, it wasn't as predominant now. Like if you see like a Hatchet Man or something, be like, oh, I know what that is. So, and then, if you've ever watched that Buster podcast, we talked all about that. We wanted to get, more original with our stuff, and I forgot where that was going. Yeah, death match stuff. But now, I love it. I love the death match stuff. But I like to be able to do that, and then at the last ASWF show, the Sydney Sutherland benefit, I had like I loved it. Old school tag match, man. Like that was just so fun, man. It was like me and Cody only versus 9-Finger Phil and main event Baldy. And it was a fun match, man. Yeah. It was really fun.
I know one of my first, like when I was first coming around, and I wanted to learn a lot about the guys I was being around, stuff like that. And Josh had sent me a bunch of stuff from like you and a few others. One of the things he sent me was Juggalo Championship Wrestling, your match with Necro Butcher.
Oh yeah.
How did that match come about?
Oh man, it's like the stars aligned, and I think I manifested that too, man. Okay, excuse me, let me get prepared here. I know my dad has freaking cancers, but so slap me in the wrist. I smoke. Sorry, kids, don't do this. Okay, like I said, me, Philip, Cody, we were hardcore. I still have a Juggalo. I still am. We were hardcore into it, man. We get the DVDs, and there was first time I ever seen them live. I got on VHS. They were selling. It was called Strangle Mania, and what they would do is get these Japanese matches out of the back of wrestling magazines, and then dub their own commentary over it. Like it was funny. It was over like the King of the Death Match in Japan with like Terry Funk and Cactus Jack and a bunch of the Japanese guys. We watched that. Then they started their own Juggalo Championship Wrestling. At first, they did it as kind of they didn't take it as serious.
Yeah, wasn't it called Championship Wrestling?
Yeah, at first. And then they're like, you know what? Because a lot of people don't know this, ICP were wrestlers before they started rapping in the indie scene in Detroit and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But they's like, from what I know, they wanted to start taking it more serious, and they were booking big names and stuff, and we would get them on DVDs, right? They was like in different volumes.
Mark, when he gets done with this, I'll address your question. So.
Yeah, I'll try to make a long story short without missing anything.
You're good.
But I had started. Okay, you know Psycho, right? Rest in peace.
I never met him, but I know who he is.
Yeah, he was like him and Pappy, the Asylum.
I know Pappy.
Yeah,
Uh,
them dudes are hitting the roads and traveling everywhere. It was like blowing my mind because I was still, just my furthest spots were like Tennessee and Mississippi and Arkansas and stuff. I'll be like, they're like, yeah, we're going to Florida this weekend. I'm like, God, really? Y'all guys are like everywhere, man. And they started working for this place in Indiana or Illinois. It was like Illinois and Indiana, like the border kind of. Um, Illinois mainly. You couldn't do Indiana because there's so many commission rules or whatever.
yeah.
Jim Cornette blames Ian Rotten for that. But you ever listen to that, Jim Cornette? But there's a place called Strictly Insane Wrestling. Psycho. I've been seeing him. I was like, whoa, you're wrestling Madman Pondo? He was like a juggalo icon, he's all in JCW and stuff. I was like, man, that's the shit, blah, blah. Well, he got me to go up there. I don't know how I got there. I used to have to get rides because I can drive, but I'm not a good long distance driver. And now I get anxiety or whatever. But I got up there. Okay, these shows are like, I don't know, 4 hours away. I got in with that crew. That's what took me off, like with traveling. I met a lot of guys, dudes that were way younger than me, but seemed like they had been wrestling twice as long. It's just a different area in the Midwest, dude. And
Yeah.
but okay, I said I was going to try to make this a long story short, but I met Madman Pondo and Too Tough Tony, which is another Juggalo legend and just a wrestling legend up in that area in Japan, whatnot. I got in with them guys and the Hooligans, and which became the JCW Tag Team Champions, Devin and Mason Cutter. I started Kevin Gill. You might know him from he was an announcer for Game Changer for a while. But he was booking at the time because the Rude Boy, one of the ICP's boys that go way back from when they were teenagers, was the main booker, but he wasn't around or something. On this tour, he was at first, and I messaged him on Facebook. I was like, "Hey, man," because they were coming to Pops, which is right across basically St. Louis. It's Sauget, Illinois. It's basically across the river. You can see St. Louis right there. And I seen it was coming, and he's just like, I was like, man, what I got to do to get a shot? I just shot my shot and sent the message. I was like, what's going to hurt? And he's like, show up and bring your gear. I'm like, word? And he didn't say nothing back, and months were coming up, and it was getting close, and I wrote again. He's like, show up and bring your fucking gear. I'm like, okay, cool. And it was getting even closer, and I don't know what happened, but Kevin Gill started booking, and I'd done artwork for him because he had a podcast at the time, and I did some of his graphics and some of his T-shirts and stuff. And I told him the story, and he's like, well, I'm booking and I didn't know nothing about this and blah, blah. But since, you've put in the effort and blah, blah, he's a PMA guy and stuff. And he's like, show up and we can probably have you in a battle royal or something. I'm like, all right, well, I don't care what the hell I'm doing.
Opportunity.
Yeah. I got up there. It wasn't no battle royal or nothing. And the whole tour, the main event was Necro versus somebody, like a local or anybody in a death match. And they needed somebody to work Necro. And by then I'd done a few death match, hardcore matches up at Strictly Insane. So like I was just listening, and I could, I was getting people putting in good words for me, like Pondo and Tony and the Hoolies and stuff, and they were like, Dale can do it, and I'm like, oh shit. So I ended up being like the main event against the Necro Butcher, which is a freaking not just a deathmatch legend, of just a legend in general in the wrestling business and in Japan and all that. And that's how it happened, dude. It was all. I always said like I might have kind of cursed myself a little because I was like, man, if I could ever work for JCW, I could retire. We'd be sitting on the couch watching that. Yeah, I had that. It was an awesome match. The next following year, I was booked at the Gathering to wrestle the Gathering of the Juggalos. And after that, I was like at the peak. After that, I started kind of I don't know, life stuff and whatnot. I started kind of like declining instead of riding it higher. So, but it is what it is, and that was like the best. That was probably my peak. Well, I got to I worked the in between. No, it was after the Gathering. I got to do Prince of the Death Match.
That's what I was
IWF
about to
style.
ask about.
Yeah, that was after the Gathering, and the way that works, the winner gets to be in the King of the Death Match, which is the following. Well, I didn't win. I went to the finals. Joseph, guy named Joseph Schwartz beat me in the finals. But the fans were like, at first, they had to warm up to me. But the time it was over, they were like, I won them over. And that's a hard crowd to win over, IWA. And they started chanting and stuff like, put them both in and all this stuff. And then like Ian Rotten came out and like impromptu, like on the mic, like he's like, you're number whatever Swartz and he's number whatever, the final one. And they put me in the tournament right then, dude. That was like,
Yeah.
it was an amazing moment. That's one of my biggest highlights, man. That
Oh yeah.
winning over that crowd, man, it was incredible. So I got to work the King of the Death. I went out in the first round there. These were the
Yeah.
hard hitters, man. It was like 4-way. They were all 4-ways at first, and but at least I got tapped out by the dude who won it, John Wayne Murdoch. The
Well,
dude.
that's all. That's a bucket list thing for most people, is to get to do something like that, and you can say
Mhm.
you lived that.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for it. And it was just it's all like I ain't gonna say it fell in my lap, but it was just this unreal feeling that this stuff was like. I was like, man, and it just makes
Right.
not that we ain't real wrestlers, but when you're accomplishing crazy stuff like that, man, you're feeling like, man, I made it, man. To me, I made it. I was sitting there shooting the shit with Violent J, somebody I've been listening to since I was like 14 years old, man, working for this guy and stuff. It was bonkers.
Oh, I get it on being a little bit starstruck on some of that stuff, but I mean,
Yeah, because my
we
composure. I ain't
no,
gonna
we we
lie.
we might be wrestlers, but we were fans first.
Exactly. I kept my composure pretty well.
So Mark asked this right here: would you go to Combat Zone Wrestling if you had the chance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got Tournament of Death coming up.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
tell you who I'm really over on big time. I have been ever since I've seen this guy. Schlack. You ever seen that dude?
yeah. I've seen a lot of
Schlack.
stuff about him.
Oh
Yeah,
my god. The dude is a monster, man. Dude is just, I mean, he is an
yeah.
animal. Man, he's ripped. His promos are awesome. I'm just, here, I'm documented live, man. I've never got to meet the guy or work with him. But yeah, you can call me a schlack, Mark, man. That dude, public animal number one, dude. Is that Fred James in the background? I
Yeah, I got my
see
headphones, so
Fred.
he can't hear you. But
Uh-huh.
Fred sneaks in on these sometimes, even though I tell him I'm recording.
He's a cryptid himself.
Yeah, he is a cryptid. So.
Look at he's trying to
But
sneak out. You ain't no Bigfoot. You ain't that sneaky.
I got my headphones, so he can't hear you at all. But
He'll probably go back and rewatch it.
right. Yeah, because if he tries to watch it while I'm on here, it screws up my internet. Because we do not have very good internet where I'm at. That's why I got cut off earlier.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I feel you. I've been there. I'm
So
surprised I haven't had any interruptions.
right. So over all of the years, guys that you have worked with and stuff like that, who's been one of your favorite guys to work with overall? Like maybe not like on like a one off thing, but like off and on. Who's one of your favorite people to step in the ring with?
Kind of like our circle of our area and stuff like that.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Oh man. I always enjoyed working Josh Cross a lot. He was always fun. Never complained, easy. He's always like, whatever, let's do this. He
Kick
was
the shit out
fun.
of you.
Yeah, he was always fun. Oh man, there's so many. I liked worked tagging with you. Oh God,
I put you on the spot here.
Austin Lane. Austin Lane. We had a group. Me, him, and Cody, actually, and Nikki, called the New Breed. It's kind of generic, but it wasn't then.
I remember when y'all brought that back at ASWF for a little bit. I remember that.
Yeah, I think it was a one night, or what was? Oh yeah, so it was for my mama, a benefit. And them guys treat me well. They've helped my family out a lot, bro. But it was always fun working with him, with or against. Trying to think of other guys, man. There's a lot. Tag, man, I got to do over the years. My dad was either beating the shit out of me or was my manager. So our last run, it was before. I don't even remember what it was called. It was before OCW. They were on a hiatus before they come back.
SECW.
Yeah. So we actually got to tag. This is before he got down with his neck surgery and stuff for the first time.
SOBs.
That's right. The SOBs. That was a lot of fun to get to do that with my dad. Oh yeah, I loved working the Mercury brothers. They're Brad and Briars, Skin Horn, the Stinker Horns.
We did a lot with them when we were tagging them and Kid and Josh. We did a lot
of
stuff with all that.
I loved
Beer 30.
Beer
man,
30. Oh yeah, man.
Drag-outs.
Bruce, both of them, but I've had like a lot of matches with like singles and stuff with Bruce too. I like to work with Bruce a whole lot, man. I don't know, man. If I'm leaving people out, I'm sure. I've always been like really like I never really cared who I was working. I mean, to the extent I could work with anybody, to tell you the truth. Well, not to sound cocky, but I tried to pride myself to adjust to people's styles, you know what I mean?
And that again, that's a lot of the influence that you put off on me. But and that's what kind of like Bruce always said, like me and him talk a lot and everything. We're tagging now and all. But Bruce's thing was always, I'm a fan of pretty much anybody that I share a locker room with, and I can see that from you as well, because I know you enjoy seeing everybody do good, and you want to make sure everybody had a good time with it,
Yeah, man. I can tell you this: my favorite matches are ones where you ain't got to do. You don't say anything, and you just go and wrestle. Just in the ring, do it in the ring. You're killing me. I'm trying to I'm still old school. I don't know.
You're good. You're good.
Where you just go out and you can just work work each other and go with the flow and go off the crowd
Yeah.
and have a good match. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm part of that era too. I've worked places where the baby faces would be in a whole other room across the freaking building, and the heels are in a different one, man. And there wasn't even cell phones. It's like you're wrestling this guy. Your music hits, and that's the first time you might have even seen this dude the whole day. Talk about kind of being nervous then, you know. But so yeah, you kind
That
of had to go with it.
I actually, like I'm the type of guy too. I don't uh talk a whole lot about it beforehand because for one, I'm not gonna remember half of the crap that's
Mm,
said, and for two, like I want to, I don't want to plan a whole bunch of stuff out because you can start into stuff if the crowd's not into it. What's
yeah,
the
it's
point of doing it?
worthless.
So and coming up, I don't think it has been announced or anything like that, but OCW is also doing a benefit show for your dad on October 14th. And I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not. And it again, I'm gonna be the spoiler on this, but I don't know where it's at on there. But one of the matches on that show is Deadly Dale versus Draven Morrow.
Ooh, I might
So
know a little something about that.
it's a little bit of a spoiler attack there, and if OCW higher ups are watching, my bad, but oh well, you'll get over it.
Well, you know what? I haven't been doing my homework on you guys, so this Draven Morrow guy, I don't know much about him. I know he used to be Cataclysm, and he's got like some multiple personalities going, and he hangs out with Bruce McGowan, who's like a shifts into a werewolf or something now, and something about monsters, and yeah, it doesn't matter to me, man. Good, bad, evil, supernatural. I'll fight him. I'll fight anybody.
Should be a hard hitting affair. Uh,
Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah, I'd heard the rumblings about OCW doing that too, and my many blessings and thank you and gratitude
well,
for
and again, that goes to
for
the
y'all
point
guys.
to the influence your dad has over this entire area. I mean that's I don't know a single person that has an ill word to say about it personally. Uh, and I love it too when he comes to the shows. He comes to the locker room. He talks to everybody in there. He he's quick to tell you what you did right, but he's quicker to tell you what you did wrong. And
And
I've always loved that about him. So
if he likes you a lot, he gets along with everybody. But he's the one or you're the one, or if he likes you a lot, that he's gonna mess with the most. you
oh yeah,
know,
yeah, trust me, I get it. I get it. But
he might walk
uh
past you, and you might be missing half your beard or something. And you're like, hey, you know,
that's why I'm glad back when I did get to work with him, so I was still wearing the mask and all. I didn't have this.
no,
Otherwise, I know that would have been a major tool for him because I've had it used against me quite a bit. But the worst one ever was I was at a bar show and I was working Excalibur, and he tried the top rope, and legitimately I'm like, dude, I can't go nowhere. He goes, good. Well,
I, I know what Dad would have done. He would have been like, I want to cut that beard. Let me cut that beard off. I'm going to get some scissors. And then when we get out there, I'm going to beat you down. I'm going to cut that beard off. See, I always wanted to cut off Cody's ponytail back in
oh
the day.
yeah.
I would have cut that ponytail off. He didn't get to do it. Cody cut it off before he could.
So before this recent run on like that, you had taken some time off for a little while. And I watched the video of that outside show, your first match back in a while, and the reaction of your daughter was just absolutely amazing. Like, dude, dude, it choked me up, man. I love to see that, man. What? Okay, first off, what made you want to step back in, and what were your emotions and how were you feeling about with that moment?
Well, oh God, the years kept going by and by. I'd be like, I'm just taking a break. And then I'm like, dang, it's been a year. Dang, it's been two. God, it's three. And I'm like, I ain't getting any younger. And, I've had the same Facebook since I've started Facebook. You can't, I mean, you could unplug, but it's not easy. It's always in my face, wrestling, and I still followed it. And the kids, I say the kids, like my daughter, my sister's, my nephew, my sister's son, and Cody's son. I claim him as my nephew too. Shoot, they hadn't seen me wrestle since me and Dad were like at the SOBs.
Yeah.
And in 3 years, that's it don't seem like a long time, but here we go. But it does the same time, especially in kid years. Kids can sprout like weeds in 3 years.
I saw your daughter at one of the shows not too long ago, and dude, it completely caught me off guard. I didn't realize it was the night I was talking about with the flyers that I had.
Mm-hmm.
She brought
man.
one up to me, and I'm sitting there looking there. I'm like, I know who this kid is. My dad says hi.
Yeah, tell me about it, man.
Like play character. I'm like, well, who's your daddy?
Mm-hmm.
Dale. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like one night and they're little whatever running around. Then you wake up and you got a teenager and you're like, oh my God. But I personally, I was, I was missing it, and I didn't want to go out like I did, which is, I can't remember my last. Actually, it was like a birthday show I did up here. Like I'd never done one, but I wasn't planning on not coming back after that. I'd say up here. Y'all know where I'm at. I'm in Tuckerman, Arkansas. But when it comes down to it, I knew I still had some in the tank, and seeing the kids, they would go when they started back. Well, COVID too, put a damper on everything. Yeah. But when they started going up to RWE because they were running whenever nobody was running. And then ASWF and MACW merged and started coming back up here. They started going up there too, and I seen how they got into it. They were really getting into it, and then it was getting to the point where the boys would look at my YouTube matches, and then my daughter would start, I want you to wrestle. I want you to wrestle. I'll be like, I don't know. I might one of these days. So how did it even come together? I finally overthought it or thought on it hard like I do everything else. I was talking to someone, and then they said something, and they're like, nah. And then, Craig got word of me, rumblings of me wanting maybe to come back. And he had that Newport show, and I didn't tell anybody but a few people. My sister knew. And
yeah, it was her video that I saw.
Yeah, she wanted to get it on there. Yeah, they had no clue that I was going to be there. So it was a mix. It was like, of course, selfish reasons, and I wanted the kids to see me while they still give a crap, about wrestling. They might be lifelong fans, but you never know. At
Yeah.
least like let them see me when they were, like I said, that 3 years. They might not remember me watching me live at that age, but they might remember me more at being 13, 14
Yeah.
years old.
Oh, dude, and like I said, I absolutely love that moment though. Like I said, when the music hit, you just see her eyes like, what is this? And you popped around that corner and got over to her, dude. She just pouring down. I was like, damn, man, right there, to me, that right there makes it worth it.
Yeah,
That real
it
emotion.
shocked me really. I knew she'd be surprised, but I didn't know she would have been so emotional about it, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to hold it together trying to get to the ring. I gave her a hug, and I'm like, okay, I got to keep going and slapping hands. I can't look at you much longer right now. I
Right.
gotta start bawling. I don't want to start bawling right before my match.
See, that's the point where you be like, all right, I need to start wearing a mask, just so
Yeah,
he can't see that.
with the blacks, you know.
Oh Lord. So, in general, concept wise, like that, like right now, a feasible thing. What would be your dream match to have right now? Like out of anybody like that's actually working today, that feasibly in general could happen. Type dream match. Because I already know if it went anybody, it'd be Scott Hall. So we already know that.
Oh
But
yeah.
like I said, feasibly though.
Hmm.
Oh.
Monsters versus LSD. Oh, that's the werewolf. To get hold of my partner. I only got one now. The other one's a back. What I call him the other day on accident. At that last match I was telling you about, I call him oh god, a no good stab backer. I was like, "You're a no good stab backer." I just rolled with it. I meant to say backstabber, but yeah.
Oh Lord.
Feasibly. Mm, I don't even know what's feasible really right now. I really consider myself kind of a part timer. Actually, I work one since I came back. Have kind of just been on a part time schedule. Like I've
Yeah.
at least once a month, sometimes
Yeah.
twice. Shoot, I'm jealous. Feasible if I could get up and work for Memphis. Shoot, man, I'd like to work Tommy Dreamer. I just seen Bradley work Tommy Dreamer for the second
Yeah.
time, and that would be awesome. So maybe
Yeah.
that's something that feasible. I think maybe maybe that's probably the most feasible for being the closest. If I could get like booked over on the East Coast or something, I'd like to, like I said earlier, face Schlack in a death match
Ooh.
or the Necro Butcher rematch. Um, because he's made a huge comeback. He was like about died of cancer, and like now it was a crazy the transformation
Oh
after
yeah.
he
I
beat it.
thought I thought he had retired. So I
He
didn't realize
did.
he.
He had cancer, and the dude, man. Oh, I have him on Facebook, his personal Facebook. There was a picture of him that was just like, oh my god, he was in a wheelchair and he looked like he weighed 90 pounds, and now he's killing it. XPW in Japan again, and
Oh, okay.
the dude is huge, man. I mean, he's not like a shredded specimen. He's just a big man. But like when I wrestled him, I didn't realize how big he was. Like I put him in a figure four in a death match, but it made sense. But I didn't think I could get my legs locked. That's how big he's got. Tree trunk legs. But on that side of things, yeah, that would be some cool, maybe feasible matches. Around here, any of the guys up in our area, uh, I'm kind of just happy to be just to be in the ring
I'm glad to hear that. I'm
nowadays.
glad to hear that, man. I
Yeah.
really am. Uh, what's one of your favorite road stories? Like, yeah, I've heard some pretty wild ones. Uh,
Yeah, there's a bunch. Oh, shoot. Oh God. Let me just think off the top of my head. Most of them I don't remember. Oh man, then sometimes I'm like, did I do this or did I just imagine this? Seems like I was throwing 40-ounce bottles at semi tires going down the freeway full of my urine.
oh
Uh,
my god.
um, oh God, dude. Dude. Yeah, I was wild. I was wild on the road, actually. And yeah,
Well,
for
all right,
multiple reasons. I was having fun, but yeah, I just.
man. We don't have to get into that if you don't want to. That I think that's a visual enough for a lot of people.
Yeah, man, that was just. Yeah, that was a good one. I think. Nothing
So,
outlandishly crazy. I don't think. I tried to stay in the vehicle most much as possible from point A to B, unless I had to go pee somewhere. If there wasn't a bottle available.
uh, so, so, uh, we're getting close to an hour and a half. We'll probably start wrapping this up here shortly. But we got a couple more things I was curious about. Um, if you were to retire, like here soon or something like that, and you were able to plan out who you were going to be in the ring with, who would your retirement match be again?
Oh man. Oh, it'd be a young guy. Um, Somebody that's still going to be around for a minute. Uh,
Well,
just
I'm
pull,
throwing
man.
out.
That's such a tough question, man. But just come to my head. Probably because I've done a lot with these boys. I would, and unfortunately, Breyer can't wrestle anymore. But just, I mean, like probably Bradley. He's the youngest guy that's still doing things that I know of. I mean, Mike Anthony's still hitting it hard. He's not as young, but he's young. He's younger than me. I don't think he's retired anytime soon. Um, I can't name you. Hell, you're older as me. Um,
You called me old.
I've
Actually,
never
I
actually
am.
thought out a retirement match and stuff like that. I've always kind of been, if it something where I could make it to make to actually maybe somebody else besides them guys. I'd want to do it to someone that maybe ain't even wrestling yet or is just starting to help.
To help
Not to sound
elevate that
arrogant, to
person.
help make them, you know what I mean, or help push them to the next level. Have something like an awesome program that made them that helped their career and helped them out.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I,
that
I
right.
was I was listening off them guys like Brad and Briar and Mike and guys like that because the young guys ain't the young guys anymore that I know. A lot of young guys I was gone them years, them 3 years. There's dudes I don't know, man. I'm getting to know, but
Yeah.
my
Well,
my young
that right
guys are
there.
done. My young guys ain't so young anymore.
Well,
But
that
yeah,
right there
it'd be
though.
somebody. It'd be something that where I could help elevate somebody. You know what I mean?
That right there just proves how unselfish you are, man. I love hearing that. I really do because I've talked to different people, just like not even like recording, but just talking around and stuff, and just throw that out there. they always throw out somebody, that has meaning behind it, of course, but it's somebody, personal for them. But that right there just proves though that you're not doing this stuff for yourself. You're doing this for the betterment of the business. And I love hearing that. I really love hearing
Thanks, man.
that.
That's
So
how. I mean, that's just how I think it should be. If you're, it ain't gonna hurt you none, and you gotta have people to carry on, or there wouldn't be no wrestling business for anybody to enjoy.
right. Well, coming off of that, then there are like we're at OCW where I'm at. We have a lot of young guys there, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of shows around that have a lot of young guys in the business. So, what advice would you give these guys that are just now starting out? What advice would you impart on them?
Number one, don't run your mouth publicly on social media. That just is a bad
That
look, and
that could
and
be for anybody.
yeah, anybody. But that's just a bad
Yeah.
look, and
When
doesn't need
somebody
to be discussed publicly.
when somebody says something really important, I always do this thing. He's shooting. He's shooting. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't make an ass out of yourself online. Work hard, focus. Listen to guys, even if it's somebody that might be just because he's been in the business 20 years, don't mean you're going to come across guys, and I'm not just saying this area, this is in general, they might be in the business 20 years and still don't know shit. Kind of have to swallow your pride a little bit. If they're trying to tell you something, be like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, and then take it with a grain of salt if you know it's wrong. But of course, all the older dudes are going to be like, shut your mouth and listen. And there's truth to that. But ask questions, and be respectful, and you can kind of get a feel, man, of who's legit and who really wants to help out, and people that's been places like, that's done stuff and it's actually maybe made a living or has worked some TV or some dark matches. I mean, they've got knowledge that I don't have. I've never worked a dark match for a WWE or an extra or nothing, but that's all. Anything like that, knowledge wise, man, soak it all up like a sponge. There's tons of matches, anything you want's on YouTube. Study. Most importantly, remember what you're doing in there is real. If they ain't, if I'm not buying it, the people out there ain't buying it. If you know what I mean. I say real.
Yeah.
It's
Make sure you suspend that
sell
disbelief.
sell in a way. When you say sell, I don't mean just like sell and all the way around, man. Like your face is your main thing, dude. Like you worked with the mask, so you had to work around that. But there's other ways too. Noises, growling, but your facials, man. Like I could right now, or you're like, that's important. And if you got kicked in the balls, if I kicked you in the balls as hard as I could right now, man, how long are you gonna be laying there in the floor?
You'd have to find them in my wife's purse first.
Well, I'll just find her and stomp her first. Don't get up. You know what I mean? Don't get up, and jump right up. Fuck. Your balls are gonna hurt until you get to the back out of that curtain. I'm rambling on. I could go on
No,
about advice
I
with
say,
that.
well, like one of my biggest examples when it comes there's a lot of people that like to do the whole no sell stuff.
Yeah.
The way I explain it, if somebody punch a nose, they like, oh, that didn't hurt. Dude, if a 5-year-old little girl walks up and punches you in the nose, you're not gonna be like, what are you doing? And you're gonna be like, ow, you little
Oh
butthole.
yeah,
You're
tender.
gonna you're gonna be like, that hurt. So yeah, I completely get where you're coming from on that.
Uh-huh.
So.
That yeah, I like to be able to take anything and like even that example there and make it. That's what I pride myself on is like trying to make anything make sense, no matter how ridiculous. But like the train shots thing, but like hitting the nose, yeah, that's different. But you're like trying to see who's tougher. Boom. All right, give me one. Boom, boom. And eventually somebody's gonna get the better of the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting hit in the nose sucks. Yeah, 5-year-old kid, like you said, hit you in the nose, and you're going to
I
be like,
mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the example that I usually
mhm.
try to throw out there because
If you can't
there's a lot.
tell, I've been hitting mine a few times in wrestling. I've got
Not me at all.
scars and crooked, and I'm getting a Triple H nose kind of. That's what I say.
Oh Lord. Well, we've been over a little bit, hour and a half. I honestly, man, I've thoroughly enjoyed this.
Me too.
Those of you watching that stayed with us the whole time, I appreciate you. You don't realize how much we
Yeah.
do. I know on something like this, I'll get a lot of the rewatches on YouTube and stuff. That's usually what happens quite a bit. But if you do, make sure subscribe to our Facebook stuff, or I've got multiple YouTube channels we're working off of. Subscribe to everything. Follow us, man. We're going to try to do more content like this. So get you. My whole thing was something along this line is like similar to like I know on the SDU network page I do this thing. It's a weekly thing called the Wrestler Spotlight, where
Mm.
it just throws out information about different wrestlers. They volunteer the info, so if you want to be on it, send me the info.
I
Uh,
shared that today actually for you.
I saw
Yeah.
that. I saw that.
No.
But here's the thing: is this right here free promotion?
Yes,
It's
that's
free
something else. He
promotion.
was asking about advice for younger guys. Jump on little things like that. No matter how small the page is, it doesn't matter. It's promotion, like you said. All they
Look
got to
at
do is send
look
you a
at
picture and fill that out.
look at talking about like using social media and whatnot. Look at
Mhm.
guys like K Toomer. K
Yes,
Toomer is constantly putting out content, and look at the opportunities he's gotten because of stuff like that. You cannot go wrong with like social media. May have, like you said earlier, may have hurt the business, but
it could
it has helped the business
tremendously.
tremendously.
I
There's a
got another
lot of
great example. Not sorry to cut you off. But yeah,
no, you're good.
Tumor's doing it, but Warhorse.
Oh yeah,
Warhorse.
Parnell.
Oh my God! Everything he's on has tens of thousands. He literally just from being active and putting DIY on his stuff. I was at his first match, man. He was like Gentleman Jake or something. He wore like a top hat and stuff.
Oh
He
wow.
he worked his ass off for everything he's built and what he's had. And I mean, he was so over like on Twitter and stuff. They
Yeah.
basically had to give him a match on TV against Cody Rhodes for that TNT or
Yeah.
whatever TNA or TNT title
Yeah.
because he won by a landslide on Twitter, like through the official vote and stuff. Man, it's crazy what you can do. But you can
Oh,
do it,
most
man.
definitely.
You can do it.
It is a tool. I mean, there's a lot of wrestling shows that is the only thing they use is social media,
Yeah,
to promote shows and stuff like that. So it definitely used that as a tool.
yeah.
Um,
Look at it all as a tool, man.
and also to put something over, I think I seen something to where somebody is going to try to make a comeback on doing digital art. Is
Me?
that true?
Mhm. Well, honestly, I'd always I get down and be like, I ain't doing this no more. I never quit completely. There'd be certain folks that would still hit me up, but I didn't promote as much. But I got back on the Instagram. I hadn't been on it in years, and I really like it, dude. Excuse me. the way they've got it now. I don't know. And then I made a vid on it. Like, all right, I want Deadly Dell. I want that to be separate. Like my YouTube is all actually youtube.com/Deadly Dell or at Deadly Dell, however they do it now. But anyway, I made that Instagram Deadly.Dell, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna make all this one brand. Okay, it's just gonna be Deadly Dell. It's gonna be not just digital. I do a lot of digital art.
Yeah.
That's my main thing. But I want to do other crap. Painting, sculpture, whatever. I can do all that. I just have it. But I've include that on that page. My wrestling, because I said it's an art form too. So it's a mix of art. I've been collabing. You might see a lot of dark art that goes good with like the Manai and the Monster Brotherhood of Monsters.
That shirt you got on was one of the original Manai logos that you made. It's
Yeah.
something basic, but it worked perfectly. The Manai crest, you made that as well.
Yep.
You used to do 99.9% of all my artwork, and that I still use to this day. And that's why I wanted to make sure to put you over on that. If you are looking to
Yes.
continue doing stuff like that, if he is doing that, make sure contact Dale for your artwork. Dude knows
Anytime, always taking commissions.
Didn't you do Crazy Mary Dobson's first shirt?
Oh yes, I did.
And those of you who do not know who that is Sarah Logan from WWE, or what is she now? Valhalla or whatnot?
Yeah, Valhalla.
Freaking Deadly Dale did her first shirt design.
Yeah, I used to work with
dude
her.
knows what he's doing.
I've done hers. I've done, oh God, tons of. I could go. I'm not bragging here, but yeah, I've done her. I've done Pondo. I've done you. I've done God. Everybody. Lots of people around here. Austin Lane. Freaking Main Event Bradley. I've done his.
Oh really?
Logo, his current one. Awesome. Yeah, that's before he became a baldy little weenie nut.
So, yeah, put your socials out there, man. So that promote yourself on this real quick.
All right. Well, it's no secret. It's out there. My government name is Dale Chitty. Chitty. Chitty Bang Bang. That's my Facebook. This is Dale Chitty. Chitty. Like and subscribe to YouTube, man. I've been putting up current matches. I like to chop up, shorts and reels are big now. And that's just YouTube/Deadly Dale, all lowercase. And the Instagram is all lower, Deadly.Dale. That's my three main things I mess with, man.
And if you're friends with me, you can go to my page and find all this stuff because I follow everything this man does.
And if you want to do an old school email about artwork, I got two that are real simple to remember. Dale Chitty at Gmail and Deadly Dale at Live. That's the Microsoft email.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I made it. It was an old one, but yeah.
Right.
But yeah, dude. Anybody wants artwork, I can do T-shirts. Shoot, I can make fine art if you want me. If you commission me to.
Most definitely.
That's what I want to do, man. That's what I want to do is just be an artist. I'm rambling now. We're at 143, man. Golly, don't even seem like we.
That's all right. I'm putting it over. Right here is one of the old school Deadly Dale.
Yeah, actually, my first one. I made that design too.
I love that because I remember when I first met you, you had the big long dreads and stuff.
Yes,
and I know. The shirt. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm getting one of those, damn it, because I'm a fan. I try to get everything I can. So, but
hell yeah, brother, man. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate all the chit chat. Oh my God, I'll probably have to go back and watch this, see what I said, see if I can find an hour and 45 minutes of time. I'm sure I will. But yeah, I'm glad you had me on because I really wanted to plug my dad's show. It's going to help him out
Yeah, most
tremendously.
definitely.
And the OCW on the 14th. It's for my dad as well. That's the most important thing. And I'm very grateful, and I know he is too. So thank y'all. Thank everybody involved and everybody that comes out.
Most definitely, most definitely. Well, Dale, hold tight. We're gonna go ahead and cut this off. But again, everybody that watched, thank you. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more people on here, let me know, and I'll continue doing this. It's a little bit different from my normal SDU stuff. Similar to what Bruce does on every other Tuesday with his wrestling with ADHD. Which Dale, I think you and Bruce could have some good conversations on that. So you
Yeah,
might want
I was going to bring that up. I was like, I probably would be a good guest on that one, honestly.
Right. So yeah, get a hold of Bruce and y'all talk that out. 'Cause I think that would be a phenomenal show. But anyway, all right, people. Well, thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a good night. And like I said, if you want to see more